You audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. I'll share my screen. So once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the course Cybersecurity and Privacy Live Interaction. So today, uh, as part of the course, I'll be taking the topic Insider Threats and Information Security. I am Balagopal. I'm the TA for this course. So, if you look at this slide, you can see recent news articles which contains the word insider. For example, Verizon insider data breach impacted data of more than 60,000 employees. Malicious insider threats are increasing in UAE. TrustWave's 2024 financial service reports that insider threat is an alarming trend. So in all these news article, you can see the term insider. And when people think about cybersecurity attacks or cybersecurity incidents, the people that might come to their mind is the hackers or the external hackers or the cyber criminals. So this cyber attack can come from internal as well. That means this cyber attacks or cyber incidents can happen from external as well as internal. So in this session, we will be looking at who is an insider, what is an insider threat, what are the technical and management controls for the prevention of insider threats. So who is an insider? So insider is a person who has or had authorized access or knowledge of an organization's resource. So when we say what is an organization resource, it includes the information of the organization. It can include the networks, systems, other equipments, or any facilities of the organization. So imagine a person who developed the products and services for an organization. He is considered as an insider, a person to whom the organization has supplied computers or laptops or has given network access. They are also called insiders. A person who has knowledge about the fundamentals of the organization, the strengths and weakness of the organization, the business strategies and goals of the organization. So they are also called insiders. And in the context of government functions also, there are insiders. So in that context, the insider can be a person who has access to the protected information. And in any case, if it is compromised, that could damage the national security and public's safety. So now let's look at what is an insider threat. So there are different definitions for insider threat. So we have taken two definitions. The first one is from Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. It's the National Security Agency of US. So according to them, an insider threat is a threat that an insider will use their authorized access wittingly or unwittingly to do harm to the department's mission, resources, personnel, facilities, information, equipment, networks, or systems. So the second definition is from Software Engineering Institute at Carnegie Mellon University. So their definition of insider threat is the potential for an individual who has or had authorized access to an organization's critical assets to use their access either maliciously or unintentionally to act in a way that could negatively affect the organization. So if you look at this definition, there are four key terms: individual, organization's asset, unintentionally or intentionally or maliciously, negatively affect the organization. So when they say individuals, it can include the current or former employees, the full-time or half part-time employees. It can be temporary employees. It can be contractors or any trusted business partners. And when they talk about organization's asset, it can include the people of the organization, it can include the information, the technology, and facilities of the organization. So these all things are known as the assets of the organization, intentionally or unintentionally. For example, fraud, espionage, social engineering. So they categorize into unintentional or intentional and negatively affect the organization. So when they say negatively affect the organization, it can create uh, harm to the employees of the organization. It can create harm to the customers of the organization. It can damage the reputation of the organization. It can degrade the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the organization. It can also disrupt the organization's ability to meet its mission. So, for example, consider a full-time employee. So he has access to information. So he accidentally disclosed the information. So it can create a damage to the organization's reputation, or it can degrade the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. So as mentioned, it can be unintentional. This insider threat can be unintentional or it can be intentional. So there are different types of insiders. The first category is malicious insiders. So they have a malicious intention. They intentionally do the data theft or they intentionally destroy the data. So there is a second category known as the accidental insiders. So these accidental insiders, they might be careless. They might leak the data carelessly. So they might unknowingly violate the policy. They might not have any malicious intent. Similarly, the other category is negligent insiders. So these kind of insiders ignores the policy. They don't care about the policy. They might not have any malicious intent. So all these three kind of insiders, be it they whether they have a malicious intention or a non-malicious intention, they might not have an intention also. All these kind of insiders can create problem to the organization. So in one of the recent studies, they say that from 2019 to 2024, in the last 5 years, the number of organizations reporting insider threats or insider attacks has increased from 66% to 76%. That means there is an increase in insider threat detections. So as we all know, COVID-19 pandemic has made remote and hybrid working as a new normal. So in that context, this remote and hybrid working creates flexibility to the employees, but at the same time, it creates security concerns to the organization. So nowadays, research is going on to minimize the insider threats when the employees are working from home. So we'll look at two case studies about insider threats. So the first case study is about the Edward Snowden incident that most of you might have heard of. So this is an example. This is a famous example of insider threat. So this Edward Snowden was a contractor for the National Security Agency, and he had legitimate access to the databases of NSA. So he gathered and leaked the classified documents relating to the secret and controversial government surveillance activities in US and abroad. So this incident highlights a significant vulnerability in the security systems that rely on user permissions. So they might not have an adequate monitoring of the user behavior. So this example or this case study underscore the need of a robust insider threat detection mechanism. The second incident is about the Tesla insider threat that happened in 2023. So two former employees of Tesla, they have leaked almost 75,000 personal data of the current and former employees. So this is a clear violation of the security policy of Tesla. And Tesla has filed lawsuits against these two employees. And this incident also illustrate the complex nature of insider threats. So this insiders or the employees, they are trusted people. So they are inside the organization. So this trusted people or the trusted employees has the power to exploit their access for malicious purposes, or it can be negligence as well. So these two incidents highlight the importance of having necessary tools and processes or techniques to ensure that employees, it can be ex-employees also, to have the appropriate level of access. And when an employee is leaving an organization, his access has to be removed. So now let's look at some of the technical indicators of insider threat. This is just some examples that we have taken. So the first technical indicator is unusual access patterns. So this unusual access patterns mean there is an access behavior for every employee. So when the employee deviates from the established norms of an employee or its group, it is known as unusual access pattern. So the examples can include an employee login in non-working hours. For example, the working time of employees from say 9 to 5, and if the employee 9 to 5 p.m. So if the employee is trying to log in at 2 a.m. in the early morning, so that is a deviation from the established norms of the employee's regular behavior. And he is trying to log in from an unfamiliar location. Second one is multiple failed log attempts followed by a successful login. So these kind of insider threat can be an example of compromised insiders where the credentials of the employee might have been compromised. Second one is access control violation. So in that case, the employees try to access access restricted resources or systems which they might not have authorized access. So the indicator again is the repeated failed login attempts or access to restricted areas. And some employees try to escalate their privilege or change their role without proper authorization. The third technical indicator is data exfiltration. It refers to the unauthorized transfer of data outside the organization. For example, some employees download a large volume of data or upload large volume of data that is not typical to their particular role. And they might use a USB drive or pen drive to transfer the data to the sensitive data to their personal devices. So these are examples of technical indicators of insider threats. And now let's look at the motivation of insider threats. Why employees are involving in insider threats or why they are acting against their own organization. One of the top motive is financial gain. So they exploit their access to sensitive data for personal financial benefit. They might sell the confidential information on the dark web or even to the competitors. And some employees, for example, they are in the sales team or they might engage in fraudulent activities. They manipulate the financial data. So in order to get bonuses or they might inflate the expense report. So basically financial gain is one of the top motivator of insider threats. Next is the disgruntlement. So some of the employees might be dissatisfied with the work conditions. They might have a problem with their colleagues. They might have a problem with their supervisor, or they might not like the policies of the management. So there are contexts where, or there are situations where that can lead them to act in a way which is against the organization, maybe a malicious insider threat. An example would be employees may leak sensitive information as a form of revenge against their perceived mistreatment. They might not have received the salary hike as they expected, or they might not have got a promotion that they have expected. So in that case, they might have some dissatisfaction with the work condition, that may lead them to malicious insider threat. They can also, destroy the data or destroy the projects to demonstrate their frustration. And another motivation can be ideology. So there can be ideological belief that may make them act against the organization. They may believe that the actions of their company or the higher officials are unethical or contrary to their belief. An example would be uh, they may leak the information to expose unethical practices that is happening in the organization. They may believe that they are doing it in the interest of the public. Another example is individuals may leak sensitive data to activists or organization that align with their beliefs, believing that they are contributing to a greater cause. For example, social justice. And this figure shows the top motives of insider actors misusing privileges. So this is taken from the data breach investigation report by Verizon in 2023. So as we mentioned, when the employees violate the information security policy of the organization, that leads to insider threat. So there are some popular theories in information security which explains why employees violate the policies. So the theories are taken from different fields, for example, criminology, psychology, etc. So we will look at three theories that are popular, and they are used to explain this security policy violation. So the first one is routine activity theory that was developed in 1970. So the key elements of this theory include a motivated offender, a suitable target, and lack of capable guardianship. So this theory says that the probability that a crime that will occur at a specific time and place may be taken as a function of the convergence of motivated offender, suitable target, and absence of capable guardianship against the crime. That means if there is a motivated offender and there is a suitable target and there is a lack of capable guardianship, then the possibility of crime can occur. So this theory is taken from criminology, and this is taken to information security policy domain as well. The second theory is neutralization theory that was developed in 1957. So according to this theory, there are different neutralization techniques. So these techniques will provide way to the employees or persons. Hello. So this technique will provide a way to the employees to rationalize their behavior, or to justify their behavior that violate these norms. So in the original theory by Sykes and Matza, there were five techniques of neutralization: uh, denial of responsibility, denial of injury, denial of victim, etc. And there are some other subdomains that was added later by different scholars. Uh, can Redmi 9i, can you mute it? Redmi 9i. Sorry. So the third theory is deterrence theory. So the core principle of this theory is that employees or people commit crime when they perceive the benefit to outweigh the potential consequences. So they will engage in a rule breaking behavior. Uh, they will consider the severity of the punishment, celerity of the punishment, and certainty of the punishment. So they will think, okay, they'll take a rational decision. If the benefit is more, then they'll involve in the crime. So these are the three theories used to popular theories used to explain security policy violations. Now let's look at the technologies for insider threat detection and prevention. So you might have heard of some of these technologies. The first one is SIEM, so security information and event management. So the organization uses this particular tool so that it aggregates and analyzes the security data from different sources across the organization, and you will get all those data in real time. So this particular tool will correlate the log from various sources such as firewall or servers, and it will detect anomalies. So if there is an anomaly, it will generate an alert, and it can be based on the predefined rules, and it uses machine learning as well. And an alert will be sent to the particular team, and the team will be looking at it. Similarly, data leak prevention. So, after this pandemic, people are working from home, and most of the companies have given laptops to their employees. So there are tendency that these employees can take the data to their personal USB drive. So there are softwares which prevents this data loss. So they monitor and protect the sensitive data across endpoints and networks. So if somebody is trying to transfer the data to their personal devices, so it detects and blocks these unauthorized data transfers. Even if you're trying to send an email with an attachment that is classified as sensitive, these DLP softwares will detect and block. And it will be sending an alert to the administrators. The third one is UBA or UEBA, that is user behavior analytics or user and entity behavior analytics. So these tools will monitor the activity of the user, and it will create a baseline behavior of the user behavior. And if there is any abnormal behavior or any deviation from the normal behavior, it will indicate an insider threat. It will send an alert to the administrator. So this tool also uses machine learning algorithms to adapt to the changes in user behavior over time. So having said this, there are always false positives and false negatives for these kind of tools. So now let's look at the management controls for insider threat mitigation. So National Insider Threat Task Force, NITTF. So it's an agency in US. So they have established some guidelines for having insider threat programs. So they say every organization, every MNC should have an insider threat program. So their guidelines include designate a senior official. The senior official should be responsible for the overall management of this insider threat program. So he should ensure that policies and procedures are complied and it is promoted in the organization. And an insider threat working group has to be formed, which has to be multidisciplinary. So they are the governance group. So it can the members of this particular working group should be from different domains. People from HR should be there. People from sales should be there. So every domain, the multidisciplinary nature. So the governance group will be from different domains, and these particular group, the insider threat working group, will be responsible for reviewing the existing policies of the organization. They should review the existing policies, the procedures, and standards of the organization and the program. Third is they have to establish governance and publish the insider threat policy. So this principle, this insider threat policy and the principles will be a function of the insider threat program in the organization. So how the company align its insider threat program to its business and its culture. So this working group also develop the policies and the procedures in such a way that it is grounded in the legal authorities. And they also have to implement a formal training and awareness program. So all the employees, all the personnel of the organization should be given training on how to combat insider threats, like what are the reporting procedure, what are the key indicators of insider threats. So everything has to be covered in that training. And it should not be a one-time training. This awareness and mitigation training should be continuous. It should go on. So in most of the companies, when the employees join, they will give maybe on the first week they will give a training on security, and after that there might not be anything about security training. So this NITTF guidelines say that this training should be a continuous process, and every employee should be included in that, be it be a lower level employee, be a higher level employee. So everyone should be included in this training. And the final one is create an insider threat program office. So there should be a formal maintenance process for reviewing and revising the policies, procedures, and standards. So the insider threat program office will be responsible for that. So these are the 5 guidelines for establishing an insider threat program. So coming to the conclusion, what can we learn from these insider threat cases? So some of the incidents that we have seen. So this highlight the increasing role that insiders, when we talk about insiders, it can be the current or former employees. So they use their legitimate access. They'll use their legitimate privilege to expose their company's system or leak the data accidentally. So it can be for revenge, it can be for money. So we have seen different motives. So the security teams should focus on internal threats as well. They should not just focus on external hackers, they should focus on internal or the insiders as well. And along with the technical control, it is important to understand the behavioral factors that motivate the employees to non-comply with the security policies. The organization should understand why employees are violating the policies, or why are they not complying with the policies, because the behavior of the insider is recognized as a significant source of data breach. And this highlights the need of technical and behavior analysis. So a combination of technical and behavioral approaches are needed for identifying and you know uh, mitigating the insider threat problem. So according to Gurukul CEO, even progressive companies that can afford the best cybersecurity protection can be taken down by one malicious insider. So even if your company has the best security policy, if an insider tries to, or insider wants to let your company down, he has the power to do that if he has the right skills. And building a security culture, cultivating information security awareness, and effectively monitoring the security behavior are important ways to reduce insider risk. And that's it. Thank you. Any doubts?
No, sir, no doubts. It's a great session and very informative for us. Thank you, sir, so much for your sessions. So, sir, any other session in there, or this is complete today for?
Yeah, this is the final interactive session.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Is Professor Saji there? Yeah. Professor Saji?
Yeah, are there any questions from the audience? Hello?
Sir, after cybersecurity and privacy course, what we can do another course from the NPTEL? Can you suggest me?
Hello?
Yeah, afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. What's your question?
Sir, after cybersecurity course, what we can do another course from the NPTEL side?
Well, this is based on your interest. As I said, this course gives a foundation on cybersecurity and privacy from a techno-administrative perspective. So, if you want to build on technical competency, then you have to look for courses from CS, computer science side. What additional courses they offer, say in quantum computing or differential privacy. There are responsible AI systems, responsible AI. So there are different new technologies and challenges emerging out of those technologies. So you can browse NPTEL and SWAYAM and choose the courses based on the outlines. Correct?
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Right.
Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon.
Sir, I wanted to ask a kind of a humble question. So basically, when I am preparing for the exam, the course is lot of theoretical stuff, which is hard to remember. And when we actually work in domain, it's a cakewalk to remember them. Like we understood the concept, what is the difference between different plans, and why they have been named. So like when we actually in domain and see those plans, we get that feeling and a muscle memory that okay, what this means and why those are there. But reading from that book, and that book also does not contain examples and all, it becomes very difficult to memorize them for the exam perspective. So I just wanted to ask, in exam we would expect more this kind of question, or it would be more on the concept side, not on the fact side or the definition side?
Well, this is difficult to say what will come in the exam, but you have seen the assignment questions, so
Yes,
which
sir.
are both facts as well as checking your learning. So be thorough with the textbook and also the slides that are shared with you and other references given. And examination is going to test your ability to integrate this different aspects and able to answer relevant questions. So that examination is set with a particular purpose to check your learning. I can't tell you what questions will come,
Yes,
but
sir.
of
Understood.
course, these are actually readings you have to go through. Some of the things maybe may not be interesting to you, but you have to read again and
Understood, sir.
get this. Okay.
That's why I said like it's a kind of a humble because like I have around 10 years of experience, and when I was in degree, some of the concepts I read and hard to correlate and memorize them. But when I'm
Yeah.
actually into job, I know it's very easy to when you work with them, you just realize why they
Mm,
are here
mm.
and what's their practical relevance is.
Yes.
But again, this exam since I'm preparing for IT/OT domain, so again I'm finding the same phase where I could not practically correlate, but I have to remember it for the exam.
Yeah, academy is not just practice, but it's also
Yes,
theory. Theory would be useful for practice, but you have to understand concepts clearly. For that, you have to read. There is no alternative.
okay, sir.
But
Thank
we
you,
are
sir.
not going to ask you what is the date of birth of a person or this, that,
Understood.
etc. That's not the kind of things we are
Yes,
interested in. No? Okay.
yes. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All the best.
Hi, sir. Hello. Hi, sir. I'm already. Just one question is that can you suggest a textbook for information security GRC?
I didn't get the point. Are you asking for some book?
Yeah. I'm just asking about some textbook which
Ah.
will be related for information security GRC.
What is the topic?
Information security GRC books.
It's already given in the reference, right? A textbook is already given to you.
Okay.
Haven't you seen the course outline, the textbook?
It's the same books which you are already which is mentioned in NPTEL, right?
Ah,
In
right,
SWAYAM.
right. That is the best textbook I know, which gives both technical and managerial aspects.
Hmm.
And hence, I won't suggest any other book for this course at the moment. Hold on.
how many questions that any other questions?
Sir. Sir, someone is asking how many questions will come in examination and the time duration, and is there any negative marking?
Sir, you are on mute in case if you are answering.
Yeah, the administrative team will be giving clear instruction on that about the duration and negative markings. So we will publish it in the forum.
Okay, sir.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Kalpana. Hi.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. This is Kalpana Shivade. Actually, sir, there are lots of presentations over there on the based on case studies, sir. Hello? Hello? Are you hearing?
Yes, yes, I can hear.
Yes.
Yes, sir. There are
I
lots
can
of things based on case studies. So, is there any requirement that we have to go through all the case studies for the preparation of examination?
I think in the last session, Professor has mentioned that we won't be asking directly from the cases because some of the cases might not be available publicly.
Yes, sir.
I hope that
Okay.
answered your question.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have already asked to said that I need a suggestion book for cyber in information security GRC.
Mhm.
So is there any answer from his side?
I'll check with him and I'll update it.
Okay,
Sir
I'm
has
just waiting
already
I'm just waiting still.
I think sir has already responded to that question, right?
Yeah, but sometimes he said that I will suggest another book also. He suggest. So that's why I'm sorry for that.
No. Can you actually say that again? What's your problem? Hello?
Hi. Uh, I just asked about the some textbook
Yeah.
which is related with information security GRC.
GRC.
Yeah.
For GRC alone.
Yes.
I'm no. You see, I can't quickly tell you any reference for GRC alone because that is just one small topic in the course. One session, part of a session we spend on GRC. But you see, nowadays you can search. These books have rankings. For example, when I choose this textbook Whitman for this course, we did review all of the textbooks available. And fortunately, there was a research paper. A researcher actually published a paper on teaching cybersecurity for graduate students and had done a review of various textbooks, and this textbook ranked the highest. Okay, so you may have to look for such information, so everything is not easily available, as you ask. So if you ask for a specific textbook in a particular field, it's always good to do some research. Are there some reviews on textbooks on GRCs available in public domain? And go through it and decide. Okay, I'm not aware actually.
Okay, sir.
But
Thank
as
you
far
so
as
much.
the course is concerned, we have given you the best textbook.
Okay. I got your point.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, actually, I missed two assignments. So, does it effect on my final score?
Well, that's a technical question which you can actually direct to the NPTEL technical team. Okay, they will tell you, because there are clear rules. You must have read that in the beginning. What is assignment score required? So first, try understand that, and if you get this answer from the announcement of the course itself, then it is fine. Otherwise, you may have to write to NPTEL. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, so far we learned the policies, standards, guidelines, and procedures. So how do we the cybersecurity theory into practical application, sir?
Well, this is a big question as to how you do practical application. It depends on what practical problem you have and what is the context of that problem, whether it's what kind of organization it is, whether at what level it is it individual, is it group or organizational. So the point is, application depends on the context. So there are so many different contexts of cybersecurity. To a course in academy, we actually give concepts and frameworks which you can select or reflect on when a practical problem comes. So without a context, we cannot say what is the application.
Okay, sir. Incident response and that incident response. So what do you suggest for it?
Yeah, so that's a question you may have to answer in the final exam. For example, what is incident response, and in what setting is it relevant? What is an incident? Okay. And what kind of management planning is incidents planning involved? So that is actually covered in the class, right?
Yes, sir. I'm
And
actually
you are supposed to have a
asking about
plan
how
at this
to.
point.
Yes, sir. How to get it into practicality, to practice or something like that in real time. Like
Boy, I'm
when
telling you
when
again,
we go to
how to
organization.
apply
Yes, sir.
it depends on context, right?
Sir, one thing may be helpful for him, like Cisco Packet Tracer is a free software, so
Yeah,
that
network
you can
simulation.
download, so that you can download, create architectures, configure firewall servers, kind of a practical implementation. Wireshark is another tool.
No. That is talking about, what you're talking about is a tool. Okay. A tool. A number of tools are available, not just Cisco. But how you apply is the question. Okay, how you apply requires the context. That's what I'm saying. So, if you want to travel from, say, A to B, if that is all that is given, you have so many ways of traveling from A to B. You can walk, you can cycle, you can take a motorbike, you can take a car, you can fly, you can take ship. Without giving the context, where is A, where is B, you can't actually give any advice. Okay, so this kind of questions as to how we practically apply is not a good question, because we don't know the context.
Actually, sir, what I did
and what you answered, this kind of answers are not expected, because tools is not application. Tools is actually a support or an aid to implement something. A problem requires thorough understanding, and also maybe the NIST resources that is introduced in the course is useful. For example, incident response, they give templates. Okay? Those templates help you understand what are the information that is required to do an incident response planning. Okay, so look at that instead of going for some software or tool first. Okay, so those guidelines are already given in the course. And depending on your problem context, for example, whether you are a small organization, large organization, nature of business, how critical is IT, etc., and what similar firms are doing. So there are various aspects you can consider when you think of applications. And is the organization willing to invest in, say, cybersecurity? Because in order to do incident response planning, for example, you need to have a team. And you need to have a commitment to do this. Okay? All this involves cost as well, okay? People's time. Okay, so So these are practical considerations when you go to organizations. Okay, the course cannot answer you what I should do. That is not possible unless the context is known. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So this has given you. It's like you're given a map, and now for you to travel, you have to use the map. So the purpose of the course was to give you sort of broad guidelines or maps or ideas about this field of cybersecurity. Okay, now get into the field and start using the map and try understand the context, etc. Hello, are there more questions? The one who asked the question, I
No, sir.
didn't register the name.
I am clear.
Decided.
Thank you.
Are you unhappy or are you getting some point?
Yes, sir. Actually, I think I found the answer.
We
Okay.
face this problem in classrooms also because students, especially from working professionals, they want their company's problems to be solved in the classroom.
Yes.
So we never do that because we do not know the company, right? We should never give wrong advice or took advice, etc. It's not meaningful.
Yes, sir. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Yes, earlier what we have been the discussion session that PPT and question and answers are not uploaded in the NPTEL.
Sorry. What is the complaint? Is that a complaint?
The discussion problem solving sessions are there now.
Right.
That is not updated in the NPTEL.
Not updated. What is not updated?
In this one, sir. NPTEL this one login.
The PowerPoint.
Yes, sir. PowerPoint or
okay. I think they are listening to this, and this is again technical side. So they must be taking care of it. Okay.
Exam is near.
You can write this in the chat forum also. They actually read every issue that comes and they will address it.
Before that, we have to glance once again that.
Okay, got it. But this will be done. This will be done. Yeah. Thanks for highlighting. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think there are no more questions.
So there are a few questions in the chat. I think we can answer it in the forum. So we'll respond to those questions.
Okay, fine. Okay, then if there are no more questions and we are done, we can close it here. Thank you very much for joining and all the best to all the participants for examination. Do well and read thoroughly, go through the lectures once again and reflect on what you learned, and hopefully you will take your learning forward for more courses or for applying this in your own working environments. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.